So here we are with the Transalp again. You can zoom in on this. I'm using a different camera this time. So here we are with the Transalp, and I promised to show you where to put it. Well, you're coming along on the journey without any preparation, without any thought. Right, we have this MOTOPOWER OBDII. I think that's obviously it's onboard diagnostics. I don't know what the 2 stands for, and that's Euro apparently, or Europe onboard diagnostics. Don't know. Maybe different ways of interfacing. I don't know. So engine check, real-time view. That's what I want. Real-time view. Oh, that's interesting. So we can start the bike up. Vehicle info. Oh, have I opened it? I haven't got this on the tripod, so I've sent that other camera back. I wasn't happy with the volume. It wasn't very clear. It was quite blurry for a 4K camera. Maybe it's something probably something I did. And I'll need the adapter cable. The Honda has it doesn't have an OBDII diagnostics, onboard diagnostics cable. It does, but it has a data link. This 4-pin data link. And I know this works because I've tried it with this. I tried it with a cheap, not cheap, but a simple scan tool. It's just very basic, simple. Just for maintenance lights, service lights. I bought it from a Tiger, and I bought this as well recently. It's a small engine with a Schrader valve engine compression tester. I've got a compression tester, but it's not for small engines, so that's got the Schrader valve. I look forward to using that. I have a chainsaw coming to repair. So, right, so get this thing out of the package. Get you guys on the tripod. I need to get the seat off. Side panel, seat, side panel. Plug it in and see what happens. Right, get the seat and side panel off. Where's the keys? Keys are there. I'll try the camera on this side. I'm just hoping the volume's okay. I don't know what the volume's like on the GoPro. Oh. That's it. Get the seat off. Ooh. I don't even know why I'm talking. I usually fast forward it all. I just hope you can see all right. It doesn't have a preview screen. That was the attraction to the camcorder, because it has a screen you can see, but it just didn't. I tested it, I tried it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the quality of the image, which again was probably my fault. And I didn't like the volume, and I don't know what I could have done about the volume. So here is that data link cable. You need to take this little block off. It's just a little tang. I'll show you. Hopefully leave you on the tripod. There's a little tang just in there. You get your finger in, pull. Don't I? See, just pull that little clip back. Pull it. There we go. That comes off. So, okay. Right. Oh. We can see. Okay. Yeah. Right, put that to the side. We get the data link cable in. And we get the reader in, and then what I'll do is I'll set you up so you can see what's on the screen. Hopefully, I don't know if this will work. I'll still use the reader, the tool for other motorcycles, but or cars. But just get it somewhere where it's stable. That seems okay. Right, I'll get the camera around and see. I might have to stop the video to zoom in. I don't know how you zoom in. Highlight added. I don't know what that actually means, but I want to zoom in. Let's have a look. Might have to stop the video actually. Alright, so I've zoomed in. I've just got to turn the ignition on. So I don't know if it's touchscreen or not. You can see that okay. What am I looking for? Touchscreen? No, it's not touchscreen. So just press the up arrow. So that must be live data. OBDII, try in there. Okay, waiting for vehicle to respond. Ignition is on. Failed to connect. Okay. So that reverse. Okay, try another way. What's that there? Press OK. What does that mean? Press OK. Come out of there. Press the DCT button. So look. Waiting for vehicle to respond. Failed to connect. Well, the FI light's flashing away. So perhaps that's just the only way, no matter what. I don't know if the live data will work. Did I go there? Yeah, no, I didn't go there, did I? No, that's just settings, okay. So we'll go up to live data. Maybe the engine needs to be running. No, failed to connect. I'll just show you what's happening up on the screen. Oh, I stopped doing it now. Sorry, I just need to get this camera up. Yeah, the FI light's blinking. I'll get you off the stand actually. Just keep you off this. Flatten the battery, the lights on. It's the only problem with the modern bikes. So we've got FI light flashing. Obviously that's it reading codes. So I think this type of reader is probably a waste of time. Because I don't think it'll, can you see that? I don't think it'll scan codes. Failed to connect, it says. No matter what I try to do, I love this battery on too long, it'll flatten the battery. Unless I put it on a charger. I might see if live data will work if I take it outside, start the bike up. Give me a second, I'll try that. But it does just flash codes, so you have to kind of start again and try and decipher the codes. But again, it's a waste of time plugging anything decent into it. But I'll try that live data, see what happens. Alright, let's start the engine up. You probably won't hear me, so there'll probably be a voiceover coming. Start the engine. I tried jumping the two pins here, down here, and that got me nowhere. So if, at the end of the day, at least if you buy a cheap reader, you can try and get this unplugged. If you buy a cheap reader, you can read the codes, but this has been a failure. I'm afraid the only thing I can do is just read the codes, or try to anyway. I don't know how you would disable the light. So if you unplug it, if you unplug the bulbs, it immobilizes the bike. Take the light fuse out, immobilizes the bike. So I'm not too sure how. You'd probably have to start the engine, but if you start the engine with the diagnostic tool in, then you only get one solid FI light. The only time it flashes is when the engine's off but the ignition is on, which is with the lights on. So I think you need to plug it into a charger. Yeah, that's the answer, isn't it? Okay, let me have another think. Right, we have discovered that this particular code reader and this particular code reader, this data link cable, does nothing more than give you the code flashes. It doesn't give you live data or the codes, so you could just read them all off. There maybe is a tool you can buy. I need to look in the manual because I'm sure there will be a tool. Just shutting this door, it's quite cold. I'm sure there will be a tool that'll scan this, but I don't know. I'll have to try and find that out. But at least we can get the thing is the bike's running fine. But I'm interested to know what the codes are. I'd have to do quite a bit of preparation, get the manual from upstairs and write down all the codes just to see if there's any stored codes. Plug it in, plug the battery in so it's not flattening the battery. Okay, I will do that. I don't know if this camera will spot that sky, so it looks quite nice. That sun going down already. Wow, beautiful sky though. It doesn't really, makes it feel very dark, exposure. There's my armadillo. You can't even see it. The armadillo. That thing's been a lifesaver. Come on, get your exposure back. Excellent. I don't know what's going on with the exposure with this thing. Anyway, right, go back to the shed. Okay, back into the relative heat of the heat. We have the manual. We have the bike plugged into the cheapy OBDII. We have the charger on and the battery's a wee bit low. The Halford's special. What kind of charger is that? Smart charger. So I assume it doesn't overcharge. Don't know. So we have the bike plugged in with the tail. And I've made a little extension. Hello. Made a little extension up and over to the charger. Okay. So we have the FI light. This is where it gets. It gets kind of. Get the coffee out of the way. Right. Try and find the. I will bring you back once I've found the page. I don't know if I bookmarked it like an idiot. Yeah, I unbookmarked it. So, oh, did I? Oh, data link connector. I started making codes. Oh, I don't know. Right, I shall come back. I won't bore you to death. I finally found it. So it's in the engine management system in the manual, section 4 or chapter 413. So here it says here the FI warning light emits long 1.3 seconds and short. So if it's like 2 1.3 seconds, it's 2, and 8 0.5 seconds, it's 28. So here we have the codes here because it's not a 28. So we have a code 29, so it'll be 2 9. So engine stalls, hard to start, off idle, faulty idle speed control valve. Okay. Code 32, engine runs normally, faulty ECM, EPROM, whatever that is. So code 1 and so on, engine runs normally, faulty map sensor. So anyway, we've got the codes here. We need a piece of paper and got a marker in here, I think, marker. I'll stop the video and zoom out a bit. That's better, it's too far zoomed in. Right, I just need a piece of paper. Should got the piece of paper. Oh, sack the cameraman. Piece of paper. I'd already tried to write some of the codes down, but oh, so difficult. And a pen. So we'll disregard these codes. So we'll go to today's date, which is the 9th of November 25, and disregard these codes. Right, we're just going to try and count these codes. Check battery on charge. Check. Right, turn the ignition on, look out for the FI. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. So it's 17, turn it off. Right, so 17 definitely. So it's 1 long flash and 7 small. I bet there's not even a 17. Or is it an 18? Right, try again. 7. Yeah, maybe it was just a 7. Engine difficult to start at low temperatures. Engine faulty engine coolant temperature, ECT sensor or wiring. It's not difficult to start at all. So it has a code 7. Okay, let's see if it's got another code, but that no difficulty at all. So right, see if I can get them all. I'm going to get 2 or 3 into the session. Right. Ignore that one. Pause. 2 long, 3. So that's 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 and a 9. Long pause. 2 long pauses. 2 long pauses. 8. So that's 29. Turn it off. So we had an 8. Where's my pen? An 8, a 9. We're too long. I know we're too long. Oh, so we do have a 2. So a 2. It's funny how I didn't have it in numeric order. But a 2. We not have a 29. Yeah, I think we had a 29, didn't we? I'll have to recheck that. So 7. Yeah, we've had that one already. 8. Poor throttle response. faulty throttle position sensor or wiring. Okay. 9 is faulty intake air temperature. Okay, or wiring. 2 is faulty map sensor. It's either disconnected or broken. Okay. These might be stored codes. The bike's running fine. The 29, faulty idle speed control valve, and there wasn't a 28, so it must have been a 29. Okay, so we know the bike's saying there's lots of, it thinks there's lots of faulty sensors. Let's turn it again. Unfortunately I have to go through all this nonsense again, but I'll spare you it and speed it up. Right, so I think there's a 1. Or it had 1. There's a 1. What else was there? There's a few more. I think basically it's almost saying all. I think these must be stored codes. It must be because I've had this engine in pieces. The bike runs absolutely fine. I have no issues with it. There's a little bit of smell of fuel, but I think you really need to be on it with these codes, like, and to read them properly. It just goes back to the beginning every time you do that. It's annoying. So that's 1. It's 29. Flash. It's 19. On flash. 3, so it's 13 on flash. So 3. Well, you need to be really on it. It's a shame you just couldn't pause it. But by the looks of it, it's just like flipping all of them. Injector 2 wiring. I'm sure there was a 12, I'm sure there was a 13. The age of this bike and the amount of times it's been in pieces. I had the throttle bodies off, I had everything off this machine, so I think these are just stored codes. I don't think there's no issues with the bike, it runs fine. I just thought it was interesting to see that's how you actually read the codes. It's pretty agricultural. Anyway, I don't know. I know you have to. I couldn't jump it. There's a way of jumping the 2 brown and green. You jump the brown. I think it's brown and green. You jump 2 of these wires. I think it's the brown and the green. You jump, and it puts you into that flashing. Or you just get a cheap scanner. You have to buy this adapter, but it hasn't really shown anything really, because the bike runs fine. Leave it at that, I guess. It was mainly about that. This video was mainly about this. And it doesn't work on this Transalp, as far as I'm aware. I've tried it and I can't get it to work. There maybe is a code reader out there, but Nope, this just puts it into the diagnostic mode, the flashing lights. But I'll keep this page here handy to know, but I don't think there's anything wrong with this motorcycle, so this is basically it. Just a bit of a failure on that part. I was hoping to get more out of it. See a whole list, so I'm not having to get my head tangled up trying to read those FI light flashing. Anyway, it's worth a try. It wasn't a lot of money, so less than £20 off eBay, so worth a go. Anyway, I appreciate you watching, and if you'd like to subscribe, please do. Okay. Oh, before I go, in the next video, this side stand, I've already cut the foot off it, but it just leans over too far, so I'd like to put similar to this. Probably what I did the last time was I just welded this foot on while it was sitting on the well, I tacked it on, took the side stand off and welded it off the bike. But I just lay the bike on its side on top of a plate, and I shaped the plate after. So I've got it to the shape I wanted. I maybe want to round it off a bit more, but I'm going to try and find a thicker piece of steel and shape it to the same profile, but just so I don't want a great big block like this hanging down. It doesn't hang over that, lean over that far, but it leans over just slightly too far. I don't know why. It always did it, even before I cut the old foot off. It always leant too far, unless somebody's put a different suspension or different. I mean, that's the right way round. That little whatever it's called, linkage. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it says up on the top of the linkage, so that's the right way around. That's the right orientation. I know you can change that. You can turn it the other way, and it does things. I'm not quite sure what it does, but it does different things to the suspension. Might lift it, but I don't really like doing that because it changes the geometry of the bike, and you struggle with the chain adjustment. So I like to keep it stock if I can. But for some reason it's leaning over too far. I don't understand it. Don't get it. Anyway, so unless there's a different linkage out there and somebody's put shorter, longer, I don't know what that would do if you put a. I'm not quite sure how that would work. I know dog bones, if you put shorter dog bones, then it lifts it, doesn't it? Yeah, it works opposite the way to what you think. The long dog bones kind of drop the suspension through the swinging arm, so it lowers the seat, and the shorter ones don't allow the suspension to go to lower too far, so it raises the seat. I'm not sure how that one would work. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would be the opposite way on that one. So if you put a longer linkage in there, it would push the swinging arm further down, but it would also push the shock absorber further down. I'm still trying to work that one out. Because yeah, that's what it does. If you see the linkage there, the shock absorber is actually connected to the linkage. So if you turned it the opposite, turned it around, it would raise the back of the bike up. Yeah, that's in its stock position. Definitely would, because where the shock absorber is connected is lower. Yeah, so that would raise the suspension, raise the seat up if you turn that around. I don't have that problem. I don't know if there's a different linkage out there. I don't know what difference it would make. I'll have to work it out. It would definitely push the back wheel down a bit. I don't know what difference it would make to the suspension, to the actual shock absorber, because that where it's connected would just be in the same location. So I'm not quite sure what the benefit would be. You'd think it would lower it, wouldn't you? It would be further away. Don't know. But I guess in a shorter linkage would raise the suspension up. And raise the whole lot up though, wouldn't it? I don't think it works in the same way as dog bones, that one. That's different. Anyway, this is, I'm leaning over too far, which is quite nice in the wind and everything. But it needs to be, and I've got a whole pile of scrap metal here. Well, I've got some scrap metal. I might not have anything thick enough. But that might be, it's just not enough of it. I found that out sitting at a petrol station, lying on a bunker, so that came with me. I like scrap metal, handy for bits and pieces. I've got this bit here, but it's not thick enough. That's the old exhaust with the cat and everything. It's all rotten. See, it's all rotten up there. Anyway, I'll find a bit of scrap metal somehow and weld it onto this. I've never filmed my welding before. I'm a bit nervous about doing that, you know. Be experts out there, you guys. Anyway, no matter. I'll make it a little bit. Obviously, I'll put it on, make it bigger, and I'll shape it when it shape it off the bike, so I can get a nice weld along. Clean all this up. Get myself some. I don't know if I've got any hammerite paint. I have to have a look. I've got paint, but I don't know if I've got any hammerite left. Did I buy any? Oh. So look, did I buy any hammerite? I thought I had recently. I've got hammerite silver there. Hammerite black. I've got hammerite black. No. I think I've run out of hammerite black. I've got red. I don't think that's hammerite. Salmon is good. VHG black. It's almost finished. That would do though. I like the hammerite because it's tough. No, I'll have to get some hammerite paint. That black. I've got some brush on, that might do. It's only a winter bike anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? Right, so going back to that, shame it didn't work. I was just trying to avoid having to count all them flashes all the time. It was getting on my nerves trying to count them. Anyway, again, thank you for watching.